Well, hello. So in this video, I am just going to walk through a scenario of where you could use Claude's Model Context Protocol, also known as MCP. And MCP just kind of gives you like the toolworks and extensions to allow the Claude module to actually hook into different systems. And you'll get a sense of that from actually when we walk through this demo. So what I want to do here in this particular demo is we've got this site where it's basically there's a UI in front of all of these AI tools and frameworks. And usually what I do is I go and I update this information by searching the web to see what the new tools are and getting it in a categories that actually fit what is here, like figuring out what the license is, where it belongs, and with the different components. And this can get a bit time consuming. So I want to actually use Claude and MCP and some of the tools that it has out of the box to allow me to actually do this very quickly. So what you have to do pretty much when you get started with MCP, at least when I'm on a Mac, is you need to basically have downloaded the Claude desktop and then configure some things on your computer so it knows how to talk to a local machine. So the way I'm going to do that is, for now, I am going to edit a file, and all of these instructions are on the Claude site. And once again, just to kind of point out, is that Claude MCP is open source, so you can actually build on top of that. So here I've got my terminal open up here, and the file that you would edit would be basically this one. It's Claude desktop config.json. I've already put something in there, and what I've put in here is the ability for this model context protocol to be able to go into my file system and basically say read or edit. So you can localize MCP to certain folders and directories. And if you've got it all set up and you start a new chat, you can actually allow it to access some of the folders. So in this example, I could allow it to access this folder. And the reason why I want to allow it to access this folder is that I've got this project running locally and I want to give it permission to edit some of the files. But as part of my workflow, I also wanted to go out into the web and do the search that I'm looking for. So let's go ahead and see what we can do in terms of making that happen. So when you actually install an MCP server, you'll see this little icon at the bottom and it'll tell you which tools are available. And this comes directly from what I've set up in the config file. So it allows me to do a lot of like file instructions, but I want to add something related to actually going ahead and searching the web. So what I'll do is there's an MCP, gosh, say that fast. There's an MCP server that allows you to search, and you can use Brave. So I'm going to go in here, and in here I am going to add an MCP server. Like I said, say that really fast. That allows me to search Brave. And if I was doing this well, you also have to make sure that you don't mess up anything. So I've got this Brave search, and it needs to, you need to actually put your API key. So I'm going to go ahead and put my API key, save it, so you don't have to know what it is. So I went out to Brave, I actually got an API key, and I inserted it into that config file. But now so that Claude can see those new MCP tools, I need to restart it. And so after I restart it, it should show up. So after restarting Claude, you'll notice that there is now, used to be 11, but now we have 13 MCP tools available. We've got Brave Local Search and Brave Web Search, which is what I'm going to use. So what am I going to do, and why do I want to do it? So the next thing I want to do is I want to actually figure out what kind of questions I'm going to ask. So here, the code that you have running is actually up here in cursor. So if you look here, there is data, just like basically a bunch of files in here that tell you what to add. So I want to actually update this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to Claude and I'm going to ask it, no, let me just update. Could you give me an update for a new tool that I want to add to the tech stack? So playing around with this, I'm just going to say provide details for a new entry that I'm considering adding to an existing list, and I give it the link. Maybe there's a better way to prompt it, but this is what I'm doing. I gave it the actual file, And I said do a web search, and then don't add a new entry because I just basically wanted to give me the JSON output that I'm actually going to insert. So go ahead and say this. And what it's going to do, it's going to know that it probably has to search the web and get some 10 results. And so now it knows that there are some tools that, so I can say allow it for this chat because it wants to read the file system, and it's letting me know what it's reading. And then based on the web view, it goes ahead and it actually gives me this JSON file that I can then just go and use. The thing that was actually really cool this time, because just today Claude launched web search, so I probably didn't even actually have to do that Brave search because now it's searching it live. So I wonder if this link is good. So I'm going to take this here, and I'm going to drop it at the end of this very long file. So go to the end and add it to the end of the file. So you got here, and I'll just format it so it looks good. Is this an actual link? It's worth looking. Nah, that's not actually the real link. So there's a little bit of like a snafu here. I can use it. So I think it actually got the wrong link if I'm thinking correctly. So you might have to do a little bit of a check, and maybe that's what's useful here. So this is not the other one, and you may have to actually check some of this other information. But the cool thing is it's got some of this information. It saved me a little bit of time, and it basically went ahead and added this, so I didn't have to do a lot of the work. And now if I actually save this and I look into my browser, I should be able to, and that was the URL that I was checking, I should be able to see the new tools show in here. And let's see if I do a search for Manus, it should be in there, and hopefully it's got select categorization. So this is an example of using MCP to actually kind of help out with some of your workflows. There are a host of MCP, say that really fast, servers available out there. And I'll just quickly show you some of the things that you can find. So if you go to the documentation, you can learn a little bit more about that, but you can also find some example servers that can do different things, like the file system's the one I used, but there's a host of others that you can actually also use. Brave Search is the one that I was also checking out. But this is just a quick sample of what it can do when you are actually using MCP, and this unlocks a lot of different things that you can do. And sometimes I like to use MCP versus other things like Claude Code. That's very interesting that you can use that as well. But here's an example. Played around with MCP. I probably said it wrong 1,000 times, but hopefully this was useful. And yeah, check out some of the other videos I have.